Hello guys, welcome to this series of HTML by Impact Academy, and this is our day 3, and today we will going to discuss use of different tags of HTML part 3. And dear viewer, there is another message for you. If you did not check our previous videos, then just go and check it out. Okay, so I hope you all are well in this COVID-19 pandemic situation. So with that, I am going to start the session. Okay, so today we are going to start with meta tag. Now, what is the purpose of this meta tag? This meta tag is used to define the metadata. Now, you can say that what is metadata? So, metadata is actually the data. The actual metadata means data about data. Okay, so this metadata actually defines the formatting style of your content. Okay, actually here content means the content whatever you are going to write inside your HTML code. Okay, so metadata is something information that carries the formatting style or something extra additional information about your content or about your web page. So that is why meta tag is used. Now there are several attributes that have been used with the meta tag. So the first attribute is char set. Okay, now what is char set? Actually this char set attribute is used for the character encoding. Okay, so how your how your server is going to encode the characters of your content, that is defined by the char set attribute. Okay, so within the char set attribute there are actually three types of attribute values in char set. Okay, so the first value is ANSI. That is, you already know that ANSI is actually stands for American National Standardized Institute. Okay, and there are another two values, that is ISO 88591 and another value is UTF-8. Okay, these all are actually different text formats. Okay, so these are the three values of character encodings that are available in HTML. So here you can use UTF-8, here you can use ANSI. Okay, and here you can also use ISO 88591. Okay, so here you can use according to your choice, but actually UTF-8 is modern. That is why UTF-8 is used as character encoding in today's modern web pages. Okay, now here I am not going to run this code. Here I am not going to run this code because actually this meta tag is logical tag, and I have already said that actually logical tag, what is the effect of logical tag, we cannot see that. Okay, the actually this logical tag affects on the browser. Okay, or on the server. So that is why whatever effect of this meta tag is actually on the browser or on the server. So that is why I am not going to run this code. But actually these logical tags are very important. You have to understand the purpose of these logical tags, why these are used. Okay, what are the purpose? So that is the purpose of the meta tag, and there is char set attribute. Now there is another attribute. There is another attribute, that is name. Okay, there is another attribute, that is name. Now why this name attribute is used? So this name attribute is actually used to give the name of your metadata. Okay, so whatever name you given to your metadata, that you can use inside the name attribute. Okay, so suppose I want to give the name of my metadata author. Okay, so I can give that. I can give the name according to my choice. Okay, so name attribute is used to give the name of metadata. Okay, fine. So that is why this name attribute is used. Now there is another attribute that is that is HTTP equiv. Now why this HTTP equiv attribute is used? This HTTP equiv attribute is used to provide an extra information about the HTTP header. Okay, it is used to define extra information about HTTP header. So that is why this HTTP equiv tag is used. Sorry, this HTTP equiv attribute is used. Now you can say that what is HTTP header? So you all know that server and client. So actually when during some web page means when a web page is reloaded or loaded, then actually there is HTTP header actually defines some extra information about that web page between the client and the server. Okay, so actually that information, that extra information is provided in HTML by HTTP equiv tag. So sorry, with HTTP equiv attribute. Okay, so this HTTP equiv attribute is actually very important in HTML, and it is also used inside the meta tag. Okay, now there are several attribute values of this HTTP equiv, and you have to know that there is one value that is refresh. Okay, sorry, that is refresh. So now what is refresh actually? Actually, when you use this attribute value refresh, so after some time, after some constant time, your web page is reloaded and it is refreshed. Okay, so that is why this refresh attribute value is used. And also there are some another attribute values of this HTTP equiv, that is default style, content type. Okay, so you can use default style. Okay, sorry, this is not default style. You can use content type, you can use content security policy. Okay, so these are some 4 different attribute values of HTTP equiv attribute. So there is another attribute, that is content. So this content attribute, you can use it with name attribute, or you can use it HTTP equiv attribute. Now what is the purpose of this content attribute? What is the action of this attribute? So this content attribute actually provides some extra information about the name attribute, or some extra information about the HTTP equiv attribute. Okay, so that is why we can use this content attribute with name attribute and HTTP equiv attribute. Okay, so suppose here with the name attribute, I here use content attribute and I set the value as Impact Academy. Okay, so now what is what is going to happen, that the author name is actually going to be set as Impact Academy. Okay, so actually this content attribute serves the attribute value to the name attribute. Okay, that is why the author name is set as Impact Academy. Okay, fine. So like that we can use content attribute with HTTP equiv. Suppose here I write 10, and suppose here I write refresh. Okay, now so what is actually what will going to happen? So if I write this, then my web page is refreshed after every 10 seconds. Okay, so actually this content attribute serves the attribute value 10 to HTTP equiv attribute. Okay, that is why my web page is refreshed after every 10 seconds. So these are some good stuffs of these attributes, and that is all about meta tag. Okay, so these are some very important attributes that are used with meta tag. So I hope you guys understood it. Here I am going to discuss some different tags related to computer code. Suppose you have a website related to computer coding or any coding, okay? And suppose you write a coding solution and just you upload that solution, that coding solution to your website, okay? Now, if you just write that coding solution inside the p tag, that is as a paragraph, so actually that is not enough good looking. Okay, so to give a better look to your code in your web page or your website, you have to use these tags. Okay, that actually gives a better look to your code in your website. So the first tag that I use here is SAMP tag, SAMP. Okay, so this SAMP tag is actually stands for sample. So it formats the output of the code in a different style. Okay, so suppose you just write a code and you just write the output of that code, and suppose you upload that code and output in your website. So how you can format your output of the code in a different way. Okay, so for that you can use SAMP tag. Okay, and there is another tag, that is var tag. So this var stands for variable. So whatever you have written inside the var tag, that all are actually actually defines as a variable, and this var tag actually formats the variables in a different style. Okay, here is another tag, that is kbd tag, and this kbd stands for keyboard shortcuts. Okay, so it displays the keyboard shortcuts in a monospaced font. Okay, so that is how this kbd tag is going to format your text, that is the keyboard shortcuts. Okay, and the last tag, that is p tag. Okay, so what is the purpose of this p tag? Actually this p tag actually pre-formatted the text and display it in a fixed view font. Okay, so these are some tags that are used to format your format your code or the parts of your code in a different manner. Okay, so here I'm just going to save this code and I'm going to run this code, and now you can see that what's the difference. What's the difference between just a general text in your website, and what's the actually functions of these tags related to computer code? Okay, so I just run this code. Yeah, okay, fine. So you can see that here there are different formatting styles. Now I am going to talk about HTML entities. Okay, so what is an HTML entity? An HTML entity is a piece of text or string that begins with an ampersand and ends with a semicolon. Okay, so entities are frequently used to display reserved characters which would otherwise be interpreted as HTML code, and invisible characters like non-breaking space. Okay, so there are some reserved characters in HTML which are used by HTML for something other purpose. Okay, so when we have to use that reserved characters in HTML code as a text, so we cannot use that directly. Okay, so for that we have to use HTML entity, and for every reserved characters there are different HTML entities. Okay, And when you use an HTML entity, then you have to write that entity name or entity number that is preceded by ampersand and succeeded by semicolon. Okay, so in between ampersand and semicolon you have to write entity name or entity number, and that is how you can use any HTML entity in your HTML code. Okay, so here I just give an example. I have just written here ampersand amp then semicolon. Okay, so in between ampersand and semicolon I have write AMP. Okay, so AMP basically stands for ampersand. Okay, so that is actually a reserved character in HTML, and this is the entity name for ampersand symbol. Okay, so actually I am going to run this code, then you can understand it properly. Okay, so you can see when I run this code, then it gives me ampersand symbol. Okay, so it is actually a reserved keyword. Sorry, it is actually a reserved character in HTML. And when I use that entity name as an HTML entity, so it gives me ampersand. So like that, there are a list of entity names and entity numbers. Okay, so I'm coming to that list. Here is the list of HTML entities. So you can see if you want to give a non-breaking space, then you have to use ampersand NBSP semicolon. Okay, so NBSP is the entity name, and you have to use it in between ampersand and semicolon. So like that, there is less than, greater than, ampersand, double quotation mark, single quotation mark, cent, pound. Okay, so on and so forth. There are several entities in HTML. Okay, and here is the list. Here is a small list of that, so you can also note it down. So let's move to another tags. So suppose you want to hyperlink a image, or you want to hyperlink different parts of an image. So how you can do that? Yes, you can do that using area tag. Now I am just going to open my Google Chrome browser, and you can write here, you just search image map, image map.net. Okay, just search this imagemap.net. Okay, so this is a good website to understand this area tag. Okay, so here is the option, select image from my PC. So I'm going to click this. Okay, so and now I am going to just select this image. Okay, I am going to select this image. Now there are several attributes that are used with this area tag. Okay, that attributes are shape, link, title, and target. So you can see here shape, link, then title, and finally target. Okay, so these four attributes are used. Now shape. So for this shape attribute, you can set three. There are three different attribute values, and you can set according to your choice. Suppose I want to hyperlink a rectangular area under my image, so I can choose rect. Suppose I want to hyperlink up. Suppose I want to hyperlink a polygon area inside my image, so I can use the attribute value poly. And suppose I want to hyperlink an area which is a circle or which is a circular area, so I can use circle. Okay, so these are three attribute values that can be used. So suppose here I use rectangle. Okay, now suppose in here C++, I just want to hyperlink this C++ with the C++ Wikipedia web page. Okay, so I am just here search C++ Wikipedia. Okay, so you can see here is the result, C++ Wikipedia. So I just copy the URL and sorry, and inside this link attribute, I just set this attribute value, this link attribute value as the URL of C++. Okay, so when you are just click on this C++ rectangular region, so it actually reloads the C++ Wikipedia web page. Okay, I think you guys understood it. Now you have to give a title. Okay, I just give the title C++. Now you can say that why I am giving a title. So basically there are several, so you can hyperlink several different regions inside your image. So you have to give title to differentiate between that several regions. Okay, that is why you have to give a specific unique title to every region. Okay, and finally there is another attribute, that is target. So what is actually the function of this target attribute? So this target attribute basically decides when you are clicking on this hyperlinked region of the image, then whatever web page, have to be reloaded. So where that web page is going to be reloaded, that means I want to say that your new web page is reloaded in a new tab, or in the current tab, or in the parent tab. Okay, so where your web page is going to be reloaded. Okay, so that is actually decided by this target attribute, and there are 4 different attribute values inside this target. You can see that is blank, parent, self, and top. Okay, so parent means in the parent frame, and blank means in the current page or in the current window, and self means in a new window. Okay, and top means in the in a new window. Okay, so that is how these all area tag and these shape, link, title, and target is actually works. Okay, so I think here is now your concept is clear about what is area tag and what are the attributes that are used with area tag. Okay, so you can set the target where your web page is going to be reloaded, and you can hyperlink any region and any shape you can give, that is circular region, rectangular region, or that is a polygonal region. Okay, so now I'm just going to show my code. Show me the code. Okay, so you can see here is my code. Okay, so I just copy this code, and I'm just going to my Sublime text editor, and I'm just going to paste this code. Okay, so you can see img. Okay, so I've already discussed this img tag is used to insert an image in your web page. Okay, so img src sample.jpg. Okay, so I'm just uploaded the sample.jpg. Okay, so I'm going to insert sample.jpg, this image, inside my web page. And there is another important attribute that is used with image, that is use map. Okay, so what is this use map? So this use map basically defines an image map. Now what is an image map? An image map is a graphical representation of your image. So your image, your digital image, is a 2-dimensional image. So there is some coordinates, xy coordinates in your image. So this image map is basically a graphical representation. Okay, so when you are using use map and you set the attribute value, and this is must. Your attribute value of usemap attribute always preceded by a hashtag. Okay, so I here read, so I have here written that hashtag image map. Okay, so I just use this attribute value. You can also give any attribute value. Okay, so here then I used another tag, that is map. Okay, so when you use this usemap attribute, it is going to define an image map. So it just defines an image map. And what is about that image map? So to do that, image map, to create that image map, you have to use map tag. Okay, so inside map tag, I have used another attribute, that is name. Okay, so what is the name? What is the name of this image map? The name of this image map is image map. Okay, so whatever value you have written inside use map preceded by a hashtag, so you have to write that attribute value inside the name attribute of the map. Okay, this must be equal. Okay, otherwise your image map will not work. So after creating the image map, I have to use this area tag inside the map tag. Okay, so you can also say that this area tag is nothing but a child element of this map tag. Okay, and you already know that in this area tag, within this area tag, there is target equals to underscore self. So I have already said that this target is used to define that where your web page is going to be loaded. Okay, and this alt means alternative text, I have already said you. And here is the title. So title is used to differentiate between several regions. And this href attribute, you already know that. Okay, so here I'm just give the link where my page is going to be loaded. And the shape, that means the shape of the hyperlinked region, that is rectangular region. That is why I am set the attribute rect. Okay, now I am going to run this code. Sorry, now I am going to run this code. Okay, fine. So you can see here is my image, and now I am going to click on this C++. Okay, you can see here the alternative text is shown C++. Okay, so if I move the cursor on Java or Ruby or Perl, so there is no movement. Okay, but if I'm moving the cursor on C++, it will show me on an alternative text C++. So I'm just going to click on it. Okay, fine. So you can see that when I'm clicking on that hyperlinked region, then it will redirect me to the C++ web page of Wikipedia. Okay, so I think you guys understood it very properly. Okay, so that is all about the area tag. Okay, now here is another tag, that is article tag. So why this article tag is used? This article tag is used to format your article. Suppose you're writing an article and you want to upload that article in your website. So how you can format it in a different way, and how you can differentiate the formatting style from the general text. So you can do it by using article tag. Okay, so just save this code and run this code. Then just see what is the difference. Okay, so you can see that it is the difference, that if you write a general text, then that is formatted in a different style, but here we use article tag. So here in this article tag, here is a different formatting style is used. Okay, so it is a good looking, it gives a better look to your article, so you can use article tag. Okay, now our next tag is aside tag. Okay, so it is another important tag. So why this aside tag is needed? Okay, so suppose I have a subject or a topic. Okay, so suppose the topic is Impact Academy. Okay, I here use Impact Academy, and suppose I want to write Impact Academy offers different courses. Impact Academy means destiny of success. Then so on and so forth. Impact Academy means that. Impact Academy means that. So I want to write all about that Impact Academy. Okay. So what is the main topic here? Here the main topic or main focus is Impact Academy. So for this type of texts, we use, means you can use aside tag. Okay, so what happens in aside tag, whatever you have written, so what is the main focus of that whole paragraph? Okay, what is the main focus, that main focus is actually left aligned. Okay, that main focus is actually left aligned. Okay, so you cannot understand, first you have to run the code, then you can understand it properly. Okay, so you can see that here the main focus is Impact Academy. Okay, so here the Impact Academy, then Impact Academy offers different courses. Impact Academy means destiny of success. So here the main focus is Impact Academy, and if I use this aside tag, then whenever the main focus, that main string is encountered, then that sentence is left aligned with that main string. Okay, so actually for this purpose the aside tag is used, and you can use it in anywhere. It gives a better look to your website, it gives a better look to your text or your content. And today's last tag that we are going to discuss, that is audio. Okay, so why this audio tag is needed? This audio tag is needed to insert any audio in your web page or your website. Okay, so you can use audio tag for inserting any audio, and within audio tag you have to use the source tag. Okay, so source tag basically says what is the source of your audio. Okay, so inside the source tag in the src attribute, I just set my file path. Okay, so sample.mp3, this is my file name, and this is in same folder. That is why I'm just written here only the file name sample.mp3, and you have to set the type. Okay, otherwise this code doesn't works. So the type is audio or mpeg. Okay, so I have to set the correct type of my audio. Okay, so that is all about source tag. So source tag is basically used to define the source of the audio. And now inside audio tag you have to set the attribute controls. Okay, so if you just write controls, then by default it is setting correctly. Okay, so that is how you can upload, you can insert an audio in your web page. Okay, so let's save this code and run. Now let's see what happens. Okay, so you can see that here is my audio. Okay, so you can run it. Okay, so it is successfully, this audio is actually running successfully. So that is how you can add, you can insert your own audio in your web page. Okay, so far there are several attributes and several tags I have to discuss with you, but today I have to conclude the session here. So please post your questions and doubts in the comment section. Don't forget to fill up the feedback form given in the description of the video. So see you guys again in the day 4, and stay safe and stay home.